Welcome to the Astro Imaging Journey channel. Please enjoy the episode.
Hello and welcome back to my Astro Imaging Journey channel. In the last episode I left you with the stacked images, and now we're going to actually combine them. We're going to merge them into a single mosaic image, and I'm going to try to accomplish this in one of two ways. The first one I'm going to use is the Windows Image Composite Editor, I believe. It's a free tool from Microsoft, and so if you don't have Lightroom, or Photoshop, you're not paying the subscription for that, or I'm not sure if GIMP does it. If it does, great. GIMP's free. You can do that in there if you're aware of how to do that. But I do want to show a free option, and I'm going to hope it's going to work, but I'm going to scrutinize it. And I'm more familiar with Photoshop, so I'm going to also go in and use that as well. So I'm going to show both of them in this video. So first, let's get Windows, the ICE program loaded. Okay, here we have the Image Composite Editor. It's pretty straightforward. We're just going to come up here and do New Panorama from Images. And we're just going to navigate to our directory. And we're just going to select them all. And if you're curious, it will take TIFFs, bitmaps, a whole range of different files, including RAW, the whole 9 yards. So we have them all selected. Let's go ahead and open. I want to look at what did I save those as. I don't want to do that. I saved those as TIFF, I believe. Yes, that's good. That's what I wanted. So now that we have all of our images in there, sorry for that squirrel moment. Now we're going to come up here and we're going to click on Stitch. It's going to automatically go ahead and align and composite them for us. And that worked out pretty well. Auto orientation works pretty well. Yeah, that looked pretty good for us. So now we're just going to come over here to crop. There was something else we could have done in import, but this is quick, down, dirty. It's pretty simple, pretty easy to use. Image completion, autocomplete. I don't know if I wanted to use that, but yeah, that works. They just filled in those black areas that were missing, and we will leave the crop info like it is. If I wanted to, I could change that. Do something more like 1920 by 1080 or something more equivalent, but I don't want to do that right now. I just want to leave it just like it is. So now let's do an export, and let's export that as a TIFF. Export to disk, and you can see it says Stitch at the end. So we will leave that. We will save it. And that is done. So now if we come over here, we should have our stitched image right there. And if we open it up, photo viewer, oh, I can already see a problem as I zoom in. We've got an artifact right here, a little line coming across. It's a little bluish. We got another one right down here. So probably wouldn't be as noticeable in, say, like a landscape or commercial center or some other type of more dynamic and a lot more going on type of like a panorama or something to that effect. But in this case, that's going to be noticeable. So for me, I am not going to want to use this image. But like I said, if you're looking for something free, that's quick, easy to use, the Windows Image Composite Editor works. It does work. Is it going to yield the best results? Maybe not all the time. And this is clearly one of those times, and it's real prominent right here. And it only carries to about right there. I don't see it over here, so there was just enough of a difference in this panel, that middle left panel, when it stitched it, that it just didn't like it. So maybe that's on me. Maybe I had some. The stacked image just wasn't quite right, but that's neither here nor there. Let's look in Photoshop. So let me close this out, and let me close out of here. No, I don't want to save the project. So let me get into Photoshop. Alright, as you can see, we're now in Photoshop, and the last time I used it was the Milky Way images. So let me come up here to File, Automate, Photo Merge. We're going to select Auto. We're going to browse for our source files. Nope, that is not what I wanted. And let me just go ahead and select them. I do not want that stitched image. So we'll do an OK. Blend images together, yes. I do not have to worry about vignetting. Geometric distortion correction, I don't think I'm going to need that. And content aware fill transparent areas, I'm going to check mark that because we saw in the other one there were some points in the corners that were empty and need to be filled, so hopefully that will take care of that. And let's click OK. And now it's working, so we'll be back when this completes. I'm going to speed this up. Alright, that has completed. We've got our zoom tool selected. As you can see, it auto-filled the black, that content fill. We know we had those two artifact lines, so one was right above this crater and one's right in here, so let's zoom in. I do not see it. Whoa. Let's Yeah, I do not see it there. I do not see it down here. Let me grab this tool. Yeah, I'm not seeing it down here either. So Photoshop definitely did a better job of ensuring there was no artifacts. That actually looks pretty decent just on its own. But I know we can make it better. Yeah, we can definitely make this better. Let me zoom back out. Whoops. Okay. So now I'm going to just save this. Okay, so that should be our PS for Photoshop. And there it is. That's looking pretty good. So now I'm going to come over, get out of Photoshop. No, I don't want to save changes. I'm going to bring it into Registax. Could I have done everything in Photoshop? Yes. Am I that good with Photoshop? Heck no. Registax is a lot easier for me to use. No, that's not what I wanted. Alright, so we are now in Registax. We're already on the wavelet later, the wavelet tab. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to do a show full image. We can zoom in accordingly using the view zoomed over here. And if I want to, I could pop over here. And all I'm doing is I'm holding down the control key, like it says over here, and move my mouse around. I'll find an area that's a little dynamic, kind of like that area right there. So that I've got a zoom panel up so I can watch that as well as the rest of the image as I play with these wavelet layers. So the first thing I want to do is I'm just going to go ahead and add a little denoise to each of these. Okay, so as you can see, I got a 0.1 denoise on all the layers, and it also, with an image of this size, let's look at the size of that file. So it's around 16 meg. It's just having a hard time rendering the changes. It takes a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play with my sharpening settings and my sliders and see if I can draw anything out, and then we'll come back and we'll discuss it after I'm done. Okay, that is about where I'm going to get it. I didn't apply much, just a little bit at each layer, with increasing layer 1 to a 0.13. And The tricky part is if you go just a little bit too much, like let's take this up to a 30%, you can just see how that just does not look right. We get this white line along here, and a lot of white caps on these craters. We don't want, so I'm going to bring that back down to about a 10. That makes it look a lot better. But that's okay. We are working with a large object. So now the first thing I'm going to want to do is I'm going to come over here to the histogram. And I'm going to want to take this to about a 10. This over here to about a 230 maybe. That brings out a lot more. Let me move this out of the way. Let me also zoom down here, bring the zoom panel. So if we zoom in, let's say right up in here, so I'd reset the panel. And now if we go ahead and do that stretch, oops, let's go up here. There we go. So it looks pretty decent as it is, but if we can pull that in, so let's look at about a 230, clip a little bit of those highlights and any hot pixels, and let's clip a little bit down here on the noise, and let's stretch it. And made it look a lot better. A lot better in my opinion. Still got some white points on that, but we'll try to fix that in Lightroom. We will close this out. And now let's go into RGB balance. Well, first let's do an RGB align. And there's the area, so let's expand this out. Okay, so if I do an estimate, and that really shifted it, so we will do a reset. Shouldn't really need it since we did it in Auto Stacker, but I like to always do it just to be certain. Now we'll come over here to RGB balance. Now let's auto balance. Now we get that nice grayish looking moon that we so love. There we go, that finally pasted in. So I do want to bring up the blue just a touch. No, I didn't like that. Okay, auto balance, gray, go up 1 on the blue. I don't like that. I was hoping it would pull a little bit more out of in here, but that's okay. We'll leave it right where it's at. And that should be it for this. So we will go ahead and do a do all. And we're going to save this. And I'm going to save it as both a TIFF and a PNG. Sometimes, for some reason, Lightroom just does not want to read the TIFF file. And sometimes it does. So we'll try it both ways. So now let me get into Lightroom. Alright, as I feared, it did not like the TIFF file. For some reason, coming out of Registax, it doesn't like the TIFF file. But if I export TIFF files from like PixInsight, it works. So maybe the compression's different and Lightroom doesn't like it or something. I'm not sure. It should be uncompressed, but either way, that's why I always save it as a TIFF and a PNG. And I'm just going to come in here and play with my sliders a little bit. I'm going to speed up the video while I do it, but it's just a matter of getting it to where I like it. Alright, I like it right there. I'm just going to leave it right there. If we look in here, you get some of that bluish gray in some of the planes here. Get those nice radiant lines coming out of the impact craters. I like it. I really like it. So if we do a before and after, this was our stacked and merged image, and then sharpened in Registax, and then a little bit of sliders and just some tweaking, and this is what we end up with over here on the right. I like them both. I think they would equally serve as well as like a background image or something on a desktop, but really like the one on the right. It really pops a little bit more. But like I said in the capture video, it's a little bit softer on the one on the left and a little bit harsher on the one on the right. But I like having that like 90–95% illuminated image. You get that shadow on the backside, and it just creates a little bit more dimension, helps make it seem a little bit more roundish and less of a disc. And we all like the full moon. Yes, don't get me wrong. I'm going to try to do this again with a full moon, and I'm going to try to do it via mono next time, just to see if I can do something a little bit different. But it just adds that extra dimension so that you're not looking at a a plate. You're looking at something that's spherical. You're looking at something that's got dimension and depth to it. And I think, you know, taking those images when they're in shadow like that help to bring that to the forefront. So yeah, I'm gonna save this out, and maybe even replace this in my outro. You know, I kind of want to maybe do a few more tweaks in Registax, but you know, as it stands now, I would have no problem replacing the outro image with this image here. So with that, I'm going to say thanks everybody for watching. Hope you found it informative. Hope you're staying safe and healthy out there. Please stick around for the outro. As always, clear skies, and have a good one.
Thank you for watching yet another video from the Astroimaging Journey channel. Really appreciate your viewership. In our upper right, we have the latest video we've uploaded. In our lower right, we have what YouTube might think you would enjoy. And in the lower left is our subscription button. Please like this video, subscribe if you so choose. As always, clear skies, have a good one, and remember Duke.